Hello there again. We're back. This house of evil. But, we should have a load section, bear with me. There we go. I don't want to overwrite my save, no, I want to load my save. Thank you very much, yes. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we're back here. We could skip through this part because we've already been here. So last time we let her have the house. And this time we're going to try taking her house back again. So we've got the rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. We've seen all this part though. So we're going to get to this part. That's a good thing about this, we can skip through parts we've already seen, but anyway, we're going to stand our ground this time. Last time we went out to get the chicken and we saw her doppelganger, so I'm going to stand my ground this time. I'll get it when you're gone. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in unintended spaces. Roger hears a car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. Can't be. Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in his kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he's sure he's gone. She's gone, sorry. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Doilies, table runners, oiled drape runners, candles. It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighbourhood, for a little while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it. After a few weeks passed, so he placed a call to the station following up on his vehicle's disappearance. The police explained they were unable to locate his missing car and had no leads. Roger bought a junker to handle his errands around town. He didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. Shadow passed by the window. Skip through that. Okay. So, I'm going to go again, skip through this part. Let's let her have the house again. Okay. So, last time we went to seek shelter, we got fine help, so this time we're going to break down the door. Roger is a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slides open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. Steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Let's arm ourselves. Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labelled a John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labelling Roger an unidentified drifter and a homeowner as a neighbourhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognised Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for a state of undress and violent behaviour. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of someone who defended themselves when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. Well, let's see what happens next. I mean, there's a lot of different options. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go through all of them at once, but let's let her have the house again. Let's wait her out this time. Roger was not one to bully others or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch, like any respectable citizen would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent, and his hollers turned to hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He sat on the porch, curled up, nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and the sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. The cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. Oh, well. Okay. Skippity skip. Let her have the house again. Okay. I'm going to break down the door again, but this time we're going to hide in an ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner wall at the bottom of the staircase, hoping to remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfalls make it easy to follow his movements. Her movements, sorry. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of his shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again, and again, and again, relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after. A neighbour called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass. Roger's defence team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. A woman police will never be able to identify due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints and a lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution convinced jurors that Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Roger now inhabits a cell in death row, awaiting lethal injection. Oh well. So, it doesn't seem to matter what he does, something goes wrong. Let's let her have the house again. We've seeked some shelter, waited her out. Let's find some help this time. Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt, and an officer steps out on the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move. Hands. Let me see those hands. They're up. I'm cooperating. Suspect is uncooperative. I'm cooperating. What am I suspect of? Turn around. I said turn around right now. Roger complies. Walk backward toward me. Roger walks backwards towards the officer. Not so fast. Roger stops in a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak, and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up. Roger very slowly walks backward toward the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace. He is terrified of doing something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off his circulation. Please, officer. I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood and sears him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch. Roger's naked body wriggles against the leather in the back seat as he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there. A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. Tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please. Someone's broken into my house. Look, we're passing by right now. Just pull over. The old someone stole my house routine. Same for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. Don't see many elderly junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. Then I started pounding on the door. Some strange woman answered. Strange? How? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right, but what is it that made her strange to you? How calm she was about it all. Acting like I was a perfect stranger and she belonged there. The officers glanced at one another. So, you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door. Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house. No, she was in the house and I turned around and saw her driving away in my car at the same time. So a pair of twins, maybe. They were her. In the car and the house. All at once. So, what happened to your clothes? She took them. Right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car taking off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking. The officers snicker as they share a look. It's not funny. I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. Alright, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of the same person, wandered the streets completely naked, but you haven't had anything to drink. That's not what I said. This isn't how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking. Okay, I'm going to insist I'm sober. I was not drinking. It's true. I said every word of it. But note the subject is not cooperating and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. Good facility. Kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. Oh dear God. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. With the diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the women who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings, as they did with all the other patients, content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. Unspecific nonsense that you can hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door. So there we have it. That'll do for just now. I don't know how many more endings there is. I don't know how much more I'll play of this, but it's a fun little story, I'm guessing. I don't really know what's going on. Who is that woman? Is Roger really the one who lives there? Is he insane? It's hard to tell. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you next time. But until then, bye-bye.